I'm just making sure that this is live so that, okay. So, Mr. Rosenblum, your client has been charged with one count of criminal trespass. What is it that you want to tell me about your client as it relates to bond?
Your Honor, my client is a resident of Stockbridge, Georgia. He is fully employed with E&J Property Project out of Macon, Georgia. To the best of our knowledge, he does not have any type of criminal record. When he found out about this warrant, he did contact us to make arrangements to make sure he was represented so that he could turn himself in and comply with the court's direction. We are asking for a signature bond on this case and will comply with any type of contact orders in regards to this.
So, I'm willing to give your client a bond of $1,500, but if you want me to go the signature bond route, I would need to contact my chief, and so that will lead to his being in jail for another day for me to get that answer.
I'm getting from the shaking of my client's head, he'd go ahead and proceed with the $1,500 bond, Your Honor.
Okay. So is there anything else, Mr. Rosenblum?
No, Your Honor, we've been retained to represent him on the case, so we will ensure that he is present in all court appearances, and we would ask that just that the court allow for the bond to go forward.
Okay. I'm gonna set that bond, and he's gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st, but that date will be waived upon his bonding out, and he'll get a new court date in the mail. I'm sure that you filed an entry of appearance, so you'll get that information.
Yes, Your Honor. Make sure all that's filed properly.
Okay. All right. So, all right, you're free to go back, Mr. Hughes.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Your Honor, Judge.
Yes.
This is Deputy Stephen. I don't know if Muhammad had told you we have two, we're going to need a translator for two Hispanic gentlemen.
Is it Spanish?
Yes, sir.
I sent you an email, Your Honor.
Okay. And today has been a day of days, so I've been dealing with a number of different things. So I apologize if I did not get the email. I see the email you sent, Mr. Muhammad.
You want to just go ahead and do him last? Because we also have two fugitives of justice.
Yes, we got a lot. We got a lot today. Today is the day. We'll hold them. I will make the call, and we can switch over to the ladies' side. But yes, I did see that there were two fugitives today. So
I'm working on getting their waivers, Your Honor. I have not got their waiver yet, but I'm still working on it. I should have it within 15-20 minutes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna step off for a second to make the phone call, and then I'll come back and we can deal with the ladies.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready to start on the lady side. The call has been placed in for the interpreter.
All right, Your Honor, we ready? Go ahead, send your name.
Jaya Atkins.
Um, I'm sorry. Tell me your last name again, ma'am.
Atkins.
Okay. Miss Atkins, you've been charged with one count of burglary and one count of theft by taking. Your bond is going to be set at $12,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay. Because burglary is a felony offense, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, ma'am.
Nakina Alfred.
Okay. Miss Alford, you're charged with one count of criminal damage to property in the second degree. Bond's going to be set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. And that court date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Okay. You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay. You're free to go back, ma'am.
Go ahead, send your name.
Angela Dupree.
Okay, hold on, Miss Dupree.
Your Honor, Crawford surety bond now.
Crawford is bonded out?
Yes, Your Honor, that was the next part.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm receiving an email about the interpreter. So give me 1 second.
No problem.
Okay, so it looks like the email was sent, so we'll have an interpreter coming soon, but that's for the men's side. So, Ms. Dupree, you're charged with one count of criminal trespass. The bond is going to be set at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Is that cash or am I able to do?
So, if you have the cash, you can pay the cash to the sheriff's department, and they will return that money to you. when your case is over. If you don't have the cash, you can pay a bonding company a percentage, which would be approximately $300 to $400.
Okay.
But that fee will not be returned to you when your case is over. If you have property in the county, that has at least 3 times the equity. So that'll be $12,000. You can do that.
Okay.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Okay, thank you.
Tell me your name, ma'am.
Rosalie Khan.
Okay. So, ma'am, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, 1 count of battery. Your bond is going to be set at $8,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for May 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. You'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Are you Miss Levy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of simple battery, and 1 count of battery. I'm going to set the total bond at $20,000. You believe you can post that bond, ma'am?
Sir, is that with cash or how will I have to pay it?
So, ma'am, you have the ability to post this bond by cash or through a bonding company where you pay a percentage, or if you have property that has at least 3 times the bond amount, you can use that property or equity at least 3 times the bond amount. You can do that. You can use that property.
Okay.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you will get a new court date in the mail.
Okay.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of counsel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any questions of me?
Sir, can you repeat the bonding again, if you don't mind?
The bond amount?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. The total bond amount is $20,000, $15,000 for the aggravated assault charge, $5,000 for the battery charges.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Are you Miss Miller?
Monia Mendez.
Mandia Mendez.
Mendec, my last name. My first name is Sonia.
Rui.
Okay.
Miss Miller is going to be next, Your Honor.
Okay. Hmm. So let me ask this question, ma'am. It's not your fault, but I had some issues with what we received today, and I don't have her paperwork.
Your Honor, she have completed as well. I take it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she have completed one, Your Honor.
No, it's not the CAA. I don't have paperwork reflecting her name.
You want to go ahead and send in the message, Your Honor?
Let me see. It like I said, today has been a day, so it totally could be on me. So let me try to look back.
She's right under Mason, Eric. If you look at the list.
Erica Mason.
Well, yeah, she's like underneath him.
Okay.
She's right above Marshall.
Yeah, I do. Like, we separate the paperwork out. Well, I separate. Well, we all separate the paperwork out between males and females. Sometimes I don't do a good job of doing that, but I've gone through all of the M's on the paperwork I received. But hold on, let me look it up, because I gotta say this is probably totally my fault.
Well, next time, Your Honor, would you like us to separate them and just email you both, one female, one male?
No. It's not the CAA. It's the warrant.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. I don't have. I don't have a CAA on her either, but I do. Hold on, before I say that. No, I don't have a CAA on her either. What I'm checking now is the paperwork that I received in the morning from the clerk's office. And it should have her on there. And sometimes there is a, an oversight. I mean, we're all human. Problems happen. Let's see.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Hi, Miss Bermudez. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Okay. We have, I think, emails that will need your services.
Yes,
If I can operate a computer competently, we have two females that if I'm able to resolve this issue, we can get resolved in short order and come to you. Do you have any other pressing situations?
No, right now. Do you want me just to stand by, Judge?
If you can stand by, I promise. Hopefully, I'll be with you within 15 minutes.
Or do you want me to come back to go log off and come back? It's up to you.
It is up to you, Ms. Bermudez. I will be considerate of your time. I'm trying to deal with this one issue.
I'll stand by, Judge.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Take your time.
Okay. I do not have a warrant for her. Ma'am, can you spell your last name for me?
Mendec, Mendez. First name Sonia, Sonia.
Okay. All right. I see what the issue is. I have a the name on the warrant is Sonia Ruth Menendez Ramirez.
Yes, Mendez.
And you're listed as Menendez Ramirez on the sheriff's paperwork. I do have your warrants before me, ma'am. And I apologize. Sometimes that happens as it relates to hyphenated last names and things of that sort. It appears from my paperwork that you are charged with one count of possession. It says possession or display of false identification documents with a government logo.
This is false. I have the proof I can show when there. How I can show you. I was have visa you for 5 years, and I got this. They took my paperwork, all my papers you got. I think 3 years ago, so it's not new.
Okay, ma'am, I'll set your bond at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're gonna have a preliminary hearing date set for May 2nd because this is listed as a felony offense at 8:30 in the morning.
Yes, sir.
And that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Please and thank you.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Not now, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you're free to go back. So, deputies,
Yes,
just
Your Honor.
give you an insight into what we deal with. The bond order is Menendez. The warrants list Sonia. So we got an M and an S.
I see, Your
And,
Honor.
yeah, and that was one of the things that I was saying that I saw like this discrepancies to try to figure out. But okay. All right, we're ready to go for the next person.
All right, I got Ms. Miller here.
Miss Miller,
Yes.
you are charged with one count of driving a vehicle without a license, one count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, which we call VGCSA, and one count of use or possession of drug-related objects. So, the bond for the driving with no license is going to be set at $500. There's a $1,500 bond set for the possession of marijuana. The VGCSA charge, I'm going to set a bond at $3,000. And for the use or possession of drug-related objects, the bond is going to be set at $1,500. So you're going to have a total bond of $6,500. Can you post that bond, ma'am?
Is it possible to get a reduced bond?
When you say reduced bond, why?
The amount is a little bit too much.
Okay, so I don't think I can, ma'am. The license violation is normally $1,000. I reduced it to $500. The use or possession of controlled, possession of drug-related objects, that's set at $1,500 by schedule. And the bond for possession of less than an ounce of marijuana is set by schedule at $1,500. I normally would set a violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act at $5,000. I reduced it to $3,000. I'm willing to listen to you as to your case as to why I should reduce it.
I'm not employed right now and I have my family helping me to get out. So, if you could just bring it down just a little bit more, anything would help. But if not, I understand.
Okay, ma'am, let me ask you this one question. And I'll ask you this question. You do not have to answer it, but you're asking me to reduce your bond. What is it that you're going to change about your behavior?
I don't want to smoke weed anymore. I don't even do the whatever that one it was. I just had it in my possession, and then I plan on getting my license. I just want to get my life together because I don't want to be in jail again.
Okay, ma'am, that was the right answer. So I am going to reduce the bond on the VGCSA from $3,000 to $1,000. So you're going to now have a total bond of by my calculation, and I'm a lawyer, so you got to take that into account, my math calculation skills. $4,500.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And ma'am, take this spirit and move forward, okay?
Yes,
Would you
sir.
like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of lawyer?
No,
You're going to hire your own lawyer?
sir.
I'm sorry?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have any questions of me, ma'am?
That's it.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back. Mr. Florio,
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
how are you appearing on my calendar? I thought I banned you.
Judge, yes, sir, but I snuck in under a fake name today.
Who are you representing?
Judge, I represent Courtney Abbott. He's a gentleman scheduled for first appearance this morning, or this morning, yes, sir.
Okay, so you're gonna have to stay parked, Mr. Florio. I have two other people to deal with on the ladies' calendar, and then we have two individuals that are Spanish speaking that we got to deal with Miss Bermudez, so that she can go about her business, and then I'll come to you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I ask the court one question?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I know it's highly unusual. The alleged victim in the case is my client's mother. She would like to join via Zoom to address bond with the court. I know that that's highly unusual. Candidly, I've never done it before. She requested that I make that request of the court, and so I wanted to make that request of the court at her request. I certainly understand, though, if that's not something the court would prefer, because I know that that's outside the line of what generally occurs at first appearance.
Well, and you said your client is Mr. Abbott?
It is, Judge. He's alleged to have committed certain crimes against his mother.
Yes, yeah, I see. So I allow any party to produce any evidence that they deem to be appropriate. And it's my job to weigh and consider the evidence. So I'm not going to prevent that from happening. However, it may not have the desired effect that she wants. So, and I just say that with the caution, because, it's like, well, Judge, the reason I beat her with the brush is because she didn't do what I told her to do. Okay, that's fine. And I'll just say that, I'll give that admonition to you, that she is perfectly welcome to give whatever evidence that she deems fit for the court to hear. But the court may not view the beating of the brush scenario in the same vein as she views it.
Yes, sir. I understand.
So you have time to deal with that, because we're going to come to you in a minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Ms. Payne?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you're charged with one count of possessing marijuana less than an ounce and one count of use or possession of drug-related objects. Your bond is going to be set at $3,500. Can you post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of counsel?
Yes, sir.
Listen to the church. It's going to stop you. You don't know. Okay, no. It's your family job.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, you can't do that. Correct.
How much you think it will be like?
Between 12 to 15%.
Okay, Ms. Payne, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Do you know how much the amount would be if I paid the bond through a bonding company?
The broad estimate for me will be $300 to $400. I don't know the exact amount. The bonding companies will tell you what fee they'll charge, but that's my fat-headed judge's thinking.
Okay.
Any other questions, ma'am?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Are you Miss Perez?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you've been charged of one count of improper turn signal and one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. Can you post that bond, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because the VGCSA charge is a felony charge, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of counsel?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am, it looks like you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, ma'am, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
All right, Your Honor, this is all we have for the female side. I will be right in the male side in a second.
Thank you, Deputy Muhammad. I'm sorry for the clunky nature that I've started these hearings today. So I'll see you on the other side.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Bermudez.
Yes, sir.
We are now in your zone. The day has been a day. So I'm working through it, mustering through it. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. So I say that as that's my preamble for apologies of things that I'm certain I'm going to do wrong.
Judge, we all have those days.
Yes. I even have my cup of coffee that is getting cold now because I haven't had an opportunity to drink it.
It'll get better.
Yes. Every day is a new day.
Yes. Do you know who we have, Judge, on the male side?
I actually do not.
Okay.
Deputy, I'm sorry. It starts with an S. It's a long name. Would you unmute yourself? You're still muted, Deputy. You're still muted. Okay, there we go.
Okay, sir.
All right, tell me, I know your name starts with an S.
It's Deputy Stephen.
Stephen. Okay. Deputy Stephen, I will, from this point on, promise you, I will not refer to you as Deputy S.
That's fine, sir.
Okay. So who do we have on the men's side that needs the services of Miss Bermudez?
The first gentleman is Mr. Correa Daniel Ramirez.
Okay. Daniel Ramirez Correa.
Yes, sir.
All right. And who's the second person?
The second person is Mr. Aguilar Gomez Oscar.
Okay, so it looks like on the sheet that I have from you, is not from you, sorry, from the Sheriff's Department. It says Oscar Aguilera Gomez as one name. Is that the person?
Yes, sir. Oscar, yes.
Okay.
This is Oscar. That's not my time.
I'm sorry, did he say his name is Oscar?
Yes, sir. That's the person, sir.
Okay. So Mr. Oscar Aguilera Gomez.
Señor Oscar Aguilar Gómez.
Okay, there you go. That's Gomez.
Okay, are you Oscar Aguilera Gomez?
¿Es usted Oscar Aguilar Gómez? Yes.
Can you hear and understand the interpreter?
¿Puede usted escuchar y entender a la intérprete? Yes.
Mr. Aguilar Gomez, you're charged with one count of driving a vehicle without a license.
Señor Aguilar Gómez, a usted se le acusa de un cargo de manejar un vehículo sin licencia de conducir válida.
And one count of driving a vehicle with a concealed identity.
Y un cargo de manejar un vehículo con el número de identificación oculto.
This is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Esta es su comparecencia inicial ante el Tribunal de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
I'm not here to conduct a trial of your case or to take a plea in your case.
Yo no estoy acá para tener un juicio en su caso o para aceptar una declaración a cargos en su caso.
I am here to inform you of certain rights.
Estoy acá para informarle de ciertos derechos.
And to determine whether you need the appointment of a lawyer.
Y para determinar si usted va a necesitar que le nombren un abogado.
You have the right to remain silent and say nothing.
Usted tiene el derecho de permanecer en silencio y no decir nada.
But should you give up this right, anything you say during this proceeding may be used against you if your case goes to trial.
Pero si usted renuncia a este derecho, cualquier cosa que usted diga durante este proceso podría ser usado en su contra si su caso va a juicio.
So please don't discuss the facts of your case.
O sea que, por favor, no hable de los hechos de cómo ocurrieron en su caso.
During this and all other proceedings, you have the following rights.
Durante este y todos los otros procesos, usted tiene los siguientes derechos.
The right to the presumption of innocence.
El derecho a la presunción de inocencia.
The right to indictment by a grand jury for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
El derecho, I'm sorry, Judge, can you repeat that for the interpreter?
The right to indictment by a grand jury or for most felonies or by accusation for misdemeanors.
El derecho a que se le formule una acusación mediante el jurado indagatorio para la mayoría de los delitos graves o que se le formule una acusación para un delito menor.
The right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
El derecho de tener un juicio público rápido y por jurado.
The right to see, hear, and question witnesses who are called to testify against you.
El derecho de ver, escuchar y contrainterrogar a cualquier testigo que sea citado a testificar en su contra.
The right to compel the attendance of witnesses to testify on your behalf.
El derecho a obligar a que los testigos comparezcan para que testifiquen a su favor.
The right to testify on your own behalf or offer evidence in your own defense.
El derecho de testificar a su favor o de presentar pruebas para ser usados en su defensa.
The right to have an attorney represent you if you, let me start over. The right to have an attorney represent you. If you cannot afford an attorney, one can be appointed to represent you if you qualify.
El derecho de tener un abogado para que les represente y si usted no puede contratar un abogado, uno se le podría nombrar si usted califica.
You are going to have a total bond set at $1,500.
Usted va a tener una fianza en la cual el total va a ser de $1,500.
You can post this bond by cash, commercial, or property.
Usted puede pagar esta fianza en efectivo usando una compañía fiancista o usando una propiedad.
If you post a cash bond, someone will deliver the full amount of the bond and fees in cash to the sheriff's department.
Si usted paga su fianza en efectivo, alguien tiene que llevar la cantidad total de su fianza más las tarifas adicionales a la comisaría.
The sheriff's office will hold the cash and return it at the end of your case.
La comisaría se quedaría con el dinero en efectivo y se lo reembolsaría al final de su caso.
If you use a commercial bonding company, someone will have to pay a fee to that company for their service.
Si usted usa una compañía fiancista, alguien tendría que pagarle las tarifas a esta compañía por su servicio.
The fee will not be returned.
Pero esta tarifa no le sería reembolsada.
I don't know what fee will be charged, but it is usually based upon a percentage of the bond amount.
Yo no sé cuál sería la tarifa que le cobrarían, pero generalmente es basada en la cantidad de su fianza.
If you use property to post a bond, the property will need to have a net equity at least 3 times the total amount of the bond.
Si usted usa una propiedad para pagar su fianza, la propiedad tendría que tener por lo menos 3 veces el capital neto para poder ser usada para pagar la fianza.
The purpose of a preliminary hearing is to determine whether there is sufficient evidence to support the allegations against you.
El propósito de la audiencia preliminar es determinar si hay suficientes pruebas para sustentar las alegaciones en su contra.
The standard at this stage is very low.
Y los estándares en esta etapa son muy bajos.
A judge determining whether a charge goes forward at this stage only has to determine that it is possible that the crime has occurred.
Para que un juez determine si un cargo procede en esta etapa, solamente tiene que determinar que existe la posibilidad de que el delito fue cometido.
Everyone has the ability to waive their right to a preliminary hearing.
Todos tienen la habilidad de renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
However, you should speak to a lawyer first if you are unsure about whether it is appropriate to waive your preliminary hearing.
Sin embargo, usted debe de hablar con un abogado primero si usted no está seguro si es apropiado renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived.
Si usted paga su fianza, la audiencia preliminar se cancela automáticamente.
You will receive notice at the address you give of your next court date.
Y usted va a recibir una notificación, la cual se le sería enviada a la dirección que usted dé de cuándo va a ser su próxima audiencia.
Mr. Aguilera Gomez, your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning.
Señor Aguilar Gómez, su audiencia preliminar va a ser programada para el 1 de junio a las 8:30 de la mañana.
That date will be waived upon your bonding out, and you will receive a new court date in the mail.
Y esta audiencia se cancela y usted recibiría un citatorio por correo.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Le gustaría a usted que yo vea si usted califica para que le nombren un abogado? Yes.
Sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you.
Usted califica y yo le voy a nombrar un abogado para que lo represente.
Do you have any questions of me?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí?
Sí, pagando mi fianza, yo quedo en libertad y tengo que regresar a una nueva audiencia.
The interpreter cannot hear Mr. Aguilar Gomez.
Okay, you can ask him to restate his question.
Señor Aguilar Gómez, ¿podría usted hacer su pregunta nuevamente?
Que si yo pagando mi fianza, regreso a una nueva audiencia.
Once I pay my bond, do I have to go back to another hearing?
You will have another court date, but you will not be in custody.
Usted tendría otra corte, pero usted no permanecería encarcelado. Okay.
Any other questions?
¿Alguna otra pregunta?
A mí me habían dado un papelito que me decía que tenía que pagar 1,950 para poder salir en libertad.
They have given me a little piece of paper that said that I have to pay $1,950 for me to be released. Okay.
Yes, that is the amount. Well, okay, let me start over. The amount above $1,500 is the amount that the sheriff's department is required by law to add as fees.
La diferencia entre los 1,500, o sea, la cantidad restante, después que usted paga los $1,500, es la cantidad que se le requiere a la comisaría por ley que le cobre como tarifas adicionales.
Los 1,500 aparte de los 1,900.
¿Sí entendió? Los 1,500 son los de la fianza. La diferencia es la cantidad que le requiere por ley a la comisaría que usted pague como tarifas adicionales.
Sí, está bien.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
Ok, señor, puede retirarse.
Tell me your name, sir.
Dígame su nombre, señor.
Daniel Coria Ramírez.
Daniel Coria Ramírez.
Sí.
I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
Lo siento, denme un momentito.
So is this Daniel Ramirez Cora?
¿Es usted Daniel Ramírez Coria?
Mi nombre es Daniel Coria Ramírez.
My name is Daniel Coria Ramírez.
Okay, that explains it. So on my bond order, the last name is listed as Coria. First name is listed as Daniel. Middle name is listed as Ramirez.
O sea que en mi orden de fianza, su apellido está como Coria, su primer nombre como Daniel y su segundo nombre como Ramírez.
Una disculpa porque en Latinoamérica se utilizan los dos apellidos y mi primer nombre es Daniel, mi apellido paterno es Coria y mi apellido materno es Ramírez.
I'm sorry, but in Latin America, we use both last names. So my first name is Daniel. My last name from my father's side is Coria. And the last name from my mom's side is Ramirez.
And I understand, and it's just from an organizational standpoint, I have your paperwork from the sheriff's department, and it's Coria dash Ramirez.
Y yo lo entiendo, pero tiene que ver con la organización. Yo tengo la documentación de parte de la comisaría y yo tengo su nombre como Daniel-Ramírez.
And the paperwork I have from the magistrate court is listed as Coria Daniel Ramirez.
Y en la documentación que tengo por parte del Tribunal de Primera Instancia, lo tengo como Daniel Coria Ramírez.
So it just takes a little bit of time and effort to kind of put it together.
O sea que solamente se toma un poquito de tiempo y esfuerzo organizarlo.
But today is a day that I am not operating at 100%.
Pero hoy es el día que yo no estoy funcionando al 100%.
Your bond is going to be set at $1,500 for the criminal trespass charge.
Por el cargo de invasión o daños a la propiedad, su fianza va a ser de $1,500.
Did you hear the information I gave to the other gentleman?
¿Escuchó la información que yo le di al otro caballero?
Okay, so you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning.
Va a tener una audiencia preliminar fija para el 1 de junio a las 8:30 de la mañana.
That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail.
Esta fecha de corte se cancela tan pronto usted pague su fianza y salga, y usted recibiría un nuevo citatorio por correo.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
¿Le gustaría que yo vea si usted califica para nombrarle un abogado?
Okay, I see he's shaking his head, but is that a yes?
Yo veo que se está moviendo la cabeza, o sea, que sí.
Sí, señor.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, sir, you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Señor, usted sí califica para que le nombre un abogado y le voy a nombrar un abogado para que lo represente. ¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta para mí?
Quisiera saber cuánto es lo mínimo que puedo pagar del bond para poder salir.
I would like to know how much is that I will have to pay for bond for me to be released.
So the bond amount, you can pay the whole amount in cash, 1,000. Well, strike that. The amount that I've set at $1,500 will be slightly higher because the sheriff's department is required to add fees to the bond amount.
La cantidad que yo le fijé es de $1,500, pero lo que usted tendría que pagar va a ser más, una cantidad más alta porque la comisaría tiene que añadirle tarifas adicionales.
You can contact the bonding companies that are authorized to write bonds in this county, and they will tell you what fee they will charge.
Usted se puede poner en contacto con las compañías fiancistas que están autorizadas a hacer fianzas en este condado y ellos le dirían cuáles son las tarifas que ellos le añaden o que le cobran.
Whatever is the total amount of the bond, you can pay that amount to the sheriff's department in cash.
Cualquiera que sea la cantidad, usted puede pagar esa cantidad a la comisaría en efectivo.
And when your case is over, the sheriff's department will return that money to you.
Y cuando su caso termine, la comisaría le reembolsaría ese dinero a usted.
You can also post bond by property, but the property has to have at least 3 times the amount equity, at least 3 times the amount of the bond.
Usted también puede usar una propiedad para pagar su fianza, pero la propiedad tendría que tener por lo menos 3 veces la cantidad de su fianza en capital neto.
Any other questions, sir?
¿Alguna otra pregunta, señor?
No, señor, gracias.
No, that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir, you're free to go back. And Ms. Bermudez, thank you for your assistance today. I'm ready to go back to bed, but I got another half day to deal with, but have a good day.
Thank you, Judge, and I hope that the other half goes better than the first half.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.
You too. Mr. Muhammad, it looks like we have the benefit of the first person on the calendar for the men's side to also be the person that's being represented by Mr. Florio.
Yes,
Is that Mr. Abbott? Mr. Florio, Linda Abbott, I understand that you are Mr. Abbott's mother.
That is correct, yes.
Can you do me a favor and turn the phone because you're sideways?
I'm trying to figure out how to do that. I'm not an expert at this. I'm sorry.
It's no problem, ma'am. I'm not, I'm not here to be the guard dog. What I would ask for you to do, Miss Abbott, is to mute your phone until we are ready for you, because I understand that from Mr. Florio that there's something that you want to address the court about.
Yes, sir. I will.
And I will happily hear from you. Mr. Florio. So we are here apparently because I've banned you from my courtroom, but you continually deem that it's appropriate for you to appear.
That's correct, Your Honor, under my fake name.
And so I'm sorry. So Mr. Abbott, you're Courtney Ray Parrish Abbott. Is that correct, sir? Okay, so I'm joking with Mr. Florio. He does not have any ill will with this court. Generally, I would address you directly, but because you've hired a lawyer, I'm going to address Mr. Florio. But I need you to understand that anything that you say during this proceeding is going to get broadcast on the wide, the internet. So don't say anything that you do not want the police officer standing next to you to hear. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Florio, Mr. Abbott is charged with aggravated assault, criminal damage to property in the second degree, and false imprisonment. I have delayed making a decision as it relates to bond because I want to hear from you.
Judge, I have the alleged victim. She is joining us on the Zoom call. If I may ask her just a few questions, the questions I would ask her relate directly to Ayala, Your Honor. And I'll make sure that the questions are narrowly tailored only towards Ayala and nothing outside of those parameters.
Okay, now before you do that, you do understand that these charges that are being brought against Mr. Abbott are being brought through what we call a CW, meaning a police officer took information and then came to a judge under the penalty of perjury to say this is what the victim relayed to me. So, Ms. Abbott, if she, let me see, and you represented to me that she's the alleged victim.
She is, Your Honor.
Okay, so Ms. Abbott needs to understand that the statements that she makes today are under the penalty of perjury. And I say that because I don't know. I wasn't there for any of it, but I just want people to understand that if the police were called and she said something to the police and then she comes here today and she says something, and if the police believe that she hedged on the facts to them, that she may be subject to charges.
Absolutely, Your Honor. And I've talked with Ms. Abbott about that. I'm not going to ask her any questions that relate directly back to the incident from March of last year. The only questions that I would ask of her would relate directly to Ayala, but nothing related to the incident that occurred, I think, approximately 13 months ago.
Okay, and I'm going to admonish her as it relates to that, because it's my duty as a judge, because she's a witness. I'm a defense lawyer. I've had defense lawyers get mad at me before about just saying, hey, I just want you to know whatever you say is what you say, but there are potential consequences. So I'm going to admonish her as to that, and then you can ask whatever questions you want to ask. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Abbott, would you unmute yourself? So, ma'am, you're the listed victim in this report, and I need you to understand that you are free to testify about whatever it is that you want to testify about, but because you are the listed victim in this incident, and when a police officer comes to get a warrant for the arrest, the police officer has to swear upon the penalty of perjury before they make the statements they make to the judge, that you're going to be placed under oath and you can say whatever is your truth. But you have to understand that whatever you say will be said under the penalty of perjury. Okay?
Yes, yes, sir, I understand.
Okay, ma'am. So I need you to raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm any statements you make during this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Florio, you're free to question your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Abbott, will you please state your full name for the record?
Linda Gail Abbott.
And Ms. Abbott, are you the same Linda Gail Abbott identified as the alleged victim in the 3 pending warrants in this Magistrate Court of Clayton County against Courtney Abbott?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Abbott, how do you know Courtney Abbott?
Courtney is my son.
Okay. And these alleged incidents, Ms. Abbott, are they alleged to have occurred in March of last year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Abbott, does Courtney have certain medical conditions?
Yes, sir.
And will you please make the Honorable Judge Gardner aware of his different medical conditions?
Yes. Courtney is a diabetic, severe diabetic. He's been a diabetic for a number of years, since his teenage years. And he is under probably 3 or 4 medications for that. He also has, because of his condition with the diabetes, he has ulcers that are on the bottom of one of his foot that is very severe, that he's receiving treatment for. He also has high blood pressure that he is under taking medication for the high blood pressure medication at this time.
And Ms. Abbott, are you aware of any medical care or attention that Mr. Abbott may be receiving while in the custody of the Clayton County Sheriff's Office?
I'm only aware of what my son told me yesterday, that they said that his blood sugar level was way over 400, that his heart rate was 140, and that his blood pressure was sky high. And that they had given him some medication that I was extremely concerned about, and concerning with those issues. And because of his medical conditions, he is under the treatment of a doctor.
Okay. This incident is alleged to have occurred in March, I believe in March of last year. Is that correct, Ms. Abbott?
That is correct.
Okay. Since the time of that alleged incident over these last 13 months, have there been any incidences between you and your son?
No, sir.
Okay. Any calls to the police or any police involvement in your relationship with your son?
None whatsoever. No, sir.
Okay. Is it your desire that the Honorable Judge Gardner grant Mr. Abbott bond today?
Most definitely, yes. It is my desire.
And if the Honorable Judge Gardner were to grant bond today, is it your request that Mr. Abbott be allowed to have nonviolent, non-harassing contact with you?
Yes, definitely. He does need to do that, and I would like for him to do that.
Has anybody threatened you, forced you, coerced you, or promised you anything in order to make these statements before the court today?
Nobody, none whatsoever. The only contact I've had, I am in contact with his physicians.
Okay. Thank you very much. No further questions of Ms. Abbott, Your Honor.
Mr. Florio, the one question that I would have is there's an allegation of a gun. Hold on, Mr. Abbott. There's an allegation of a gun. Can Miss Abbott address that situation, that issue?
Ms. Abbott, are you aware of the allegations that have been made against Mr. Courtney Abbott?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And were those allegations made by you, Ms. Abbott?
Yes, they were.
Okay. And do you feel comfortable addressing the court's concern as to the allegations of Mr. Abbott and that firearm?
I can, yes. If he would like for me to, I can, to the best of my ability, address that in the circumstances, yes.
Well, and let me intercede so that Ms. Abbott understands and that Mr. Florio understands. So the court's concern is not to get into people's business and not to mind your business or anything else, but there's an allegation that has been made as it relates to Mr. Abbott, and I've taken in the information from Mr. Florio and from Miss Abbott. The court's concern currently is about this weapon. And I'll just add. So what I say a lot during these first proceedings, first appearance proceedings, is that police are not knocking on people's doors saying, "Hey, anything happened in your house today?" The police get called out. And so someone called the police out that led to this report. And so, yes, we're now 12 months out from it, but on March 27, 2020, this was such a concern that the police were called out. So it's not a situation of Miss Abbott, just so you know, I'm not placing you in the position of whether you love your son or not, because I'm certain that you love your son. As a judge, my job is to protect you and your son. And so I just want to get a little bit of better understanding as it relates to this weapon.
Well, I don't know what I am supposed to say and what I'm not supposed to say concerning the incidents of that day.
No, ma'am. I'm not. Believe me, I'm not asking you to talk about the facts of that day. I'm just asking you, and you may not be able to respond to this, but the allegation is that for the aggravated assault charge is that there is a black revolver that was burnished or produced. So I'm not asking you to say whether it was or whether it wasn't. I'm just saying that I am, this is a situation where, because this is an adversarial hearing, I, as a judge, have to take the information that has been given to me. And this information is one-sided, meaning that Mr. Florio has put forward his case as to whether your son should be granted bond. And you've testified about your not being in fear of your son. And I've accepted that as truth because there's no one on the other side to dispute it. As a judge, the one thing that is sticking out in my mind is this weapon. And I understand from the allegations and the warrants, you may not know anything about the weapon. So I'm not asking you to lie to me. I'm not asking you to create information. I am just, as a judge, looking at this and saying, okay, Mr. Abbott is most likely going to be granted bond and he's going to be released. And I don't want a gun being placed in your face this evening or
Judge,
a gun being used.
May I ask Ms. Abbott a few additional questions?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Abbott, this day, the date alleged is March 27th of 2020 in the warrants. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Since March the 27th of 2020, have you over the last over year, have you had contact and been in the presence of your son, Mr. Courtney Abbott?
Yes, sir.
At any time in over the last year, have you seen Mr. Abbott with a firearm?
No, sir.
Do you believe, to the best of your knowledge, that Mr. Abbott currently owns or possesses a firearm?
No, sir. I do not.
Is Mr. Abbott married?
Yes, sir.
To the best of your knowledge, Ms. Abbott, does his wife own or possess a firearm?
No, sir.
To the best of your knowledge, is there a firearm located inside of Mr. Abbott's home, automobile, or within his possession or control?
To the best of my knowledge, no, sir.
Okay. And do you have concerns that Mr. Abbott may continue to either possess and or own a firearm?
No, sir. I do not.
Thank you, Ms. Abbott.
Okay, so Mr. Florio, I'm gonna grant bond to your client. If, with your permission, may I address your client?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Mr. Abbott, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
So I've spent the last 11 years of my career representing clients who are facing the death penalty. And probably 60%, maybe 70% of those clients never intended for death to occur. They'd never intended to harm anyone, but they produced an item like a gun into a situation that ultimately led to death. And because of the way that the situation unfurled, or though it was most likely it was always on video because this was not planned out. So they were in a position where their best outcome was spending the rest of their life in prison until they die.
I understand where you're going with this, sir. I like to address you on that point. First of all, I just want to tell you as a man, thank you for not judging my mama, man. It's real. But I'm from Washington Road. I'm from College Park, Georgia, sir. My friends are doing life plus 15 years in jail right now. The reason I married my wife is because I went to Florida State, I played football. The night they committed the murder, I was with my wife. I know I teach kids, I coach kids about life. Kids these days don't understand what life means, and I do. They don't understand until the judge tells them life plus 15, that's the rest of your life. I have a relationship with my mom that has been great, but I just really want to appreciate you for not judging her, man. For real. But I understand life, and I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I'm a big man, I'm 6'9", as you see. When I stand up, I'm not your camera. I can't even look in the camera, but I don't want to hurt people. I played football. I was taught the art of, I played offensive line. I was taught the art of leverage, how to run people over. It's not my motives. I take more than I give. But any man, I'm just, at this point right now, I'm just ready to get this over with. And I'm thankful to you again for what you're doing. I'm just really emotional because of my mom. And I'm missing my kids because of my mom. And I miss my mama, man.
Mr. Abbott was one of the few that was able to get out of his environment because he is 6'9" and was able to go to college and play football. And he does understand a lot of his friends, because they weren't physically talented and gifted, unfortunately didn't make it out. And he was able to play football on scholarship at Florida State University. As a highly recruited former player, but because of his diabetes and almost having lost both of his legs over the last few years, obviously was not able to continue his football career.
And can I say this? Yes, definitely. I'm a single mom, and my son is a good person.
My joke was always,
and I do want contact with my son.
My joke, Your Honor, was always this: I can't stand on the block and sell crack. I'm 6'9". Everybody else 5'9". Well, I'm gonna run to. The police gonna know it's me. When I come back to the block, I'm gonna stand back on the block and sell crack. They're gonna be like, you know, only 6'9" dude on the block. So I always try to get back, because I believe that your message in life, God wants you to get back. If you don't teach the youth, you're not doing nothing. If you ain't teaching the youth. So even though people make mistakes, I'm big on God, and I'm big on that. Where you from don't make who you are. You know, Cam Newton was my quarterback. Pat-Man Jones was my running back. These are Pat-Man Jones. People want to judge him. He's one of the greatest people. I'm not trying to plead in case, because I know other people here want to go home right now, sir. But I'm just really emotional because as a man, you could easily judge my mom, and I really appreciate you.
And Judge, I want to say one single thing. And on the day that that occurred, the doctor will probably tell you that I was getting over coronavirus. So let me say that.
Well, thank you, Mr. Abbott. Thank you, Ms. Abbott. Thank you, Mr. Florio. You've touched me emotionally. I understand what you're talking about and what you're discussing, and the thing that I would say to you, Mr. Abbott,
Come on, man. It's my mom. It's my mom. We had a great relationship.
Mr. Abbott, listen to me. Because your mom, for the most part, has lived her life. You still have a life to live. And you have to live that life, not appearing before persons like myself.
Yes, sir.
And what that means is that you have to make better decisions. I grew up South DeKalb County, Southwest DeKalb County, Columbia High School. I got people that I grew up with who are drug dealers, people who are doing all kind of things. And they're not evil people. And I know they're not evil people, but I can't be in their house. I can't ride in their cars. I have to make decisions about what I want for my life.
Sir.
So moving forward, I would challenge you, sir, to make decisions that are best for your life. And you can get angry, you can do stuff. I got guns. I got plenty of guns. Anybody come to my house without being invited in, they're gonna see the guns. But I don't put those guns out. Guns are not what makes a man.
God can take you any day. God, I seen people get shot 10 times and somebody get shot once. And one person get shot once. It's a young boy from Philadelphia who raps. He got shot 37 times. He lived 37. So I don't believe in guns. I'm gonna be real with you. My stature alone, excuse my ear, my stature alone scares people. And that's my biggest problem, is that people want to automatically make me a bear. I'm not a bear. I live by a code of honor. I just love people. But
No, I understand that. And I'm jealous of people like you. I'm 5'7". I always tell people if I was 6 feet, I'd be in the NBA. You know, so I'm already judging you as being a person that is underserved your God-given height. So I'm taking this time to speak to you because you've spoken to me. And I just want you to understand that there's a better outcome in life. And a lot of the stuff that we get involved in, you know, I'm an old man. I'm married with 3 kids. I don't go out at night. I don't, there's no reason for me to be out at night. And you know, you're a younger person, but you have to understand the same person as your mother that you are giving flowers to today. You need to give those flowers to her tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the day after that, moving forward. Because we all make mistakes. We all fall down. We all make mistakes. But it's what you do. Do you man up and say, I made a mistake and I'm going to move forward? Or do you start blaming I didn't get the paperwork. This didn't happen. That didn't happen. And it's not me. It's all these other people that didn't give me what I needed.
I went through blaming, sir. I blame for I'm 6'9", I was 380. I'm 280 right now. My wife put me on a juice diet, so I'm 280. I got 3 kids as well. It's funny, I got 2 girls and a boy, but I blame when I got Florida State. I had scouts telling me $26 million. I had the Patriots, the Titans, the Jacksonville Jaguars, every NFL team looking at me coming out of college. I messed that up. I messed that up because I wasn't humble. I messed that up because I thought I lived before my time and I was trying to be rich, not realizing I had the gift that God gave me. And I did almost lose my legs. I almost died 3 times in the last year because of my own health issue, because I was still eating like I was playing football. But Judge, I also challenge you to find me and find what I do for the children to see how I give back, and I do want to give back. I taught the kids in my mom's neighborhood of Churchill Court. One of the kids tried to kick my mama door. They tried to rob my mama's house. The young man got locked up for his own mistakes, but by the time he got locked up, he was cutting the grass and doing the roof of my mom's house for free. Because I taught him, don't kick on the door, knock on the door. That was my motto for the kids. If you knock on 100 doors with a lawnmower, 10 of them say cut the grass. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just the type of person where God, Jesus Christ went to jail, man. You know what I'm saying? If you believe in the Bible, Martin Luther King went to jail, Malcolm X went to jail. So this is nothing but a teaching lesson for youth. I'm teaching my son. Trust me, I'm answering calls from my kids. Where's daddy? Daddy's in jail. They crying. My wife can't even pay the hotel bill. They crying. But I'm teaching them daddy got to take care of his responsibilities. So I just thank you for even listening to me, because you didn't have to do that, and I appreciate you.
So I'm gonna set your total bond at $10,000, $5,000 for the aggravated assault, $3,000 for the criminal damage to property in the second degree, and $2,000 for the false imprisonment. You can post that bond by cash, commercial, or surety. I'm sorry, cash, commercial, or property. The commercial is a surety.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You need to know, Mr. Abbott, you know, I grew up here. I know a lot of people. You know, I was invited to the last time the Steelers went to the Super Bowl with Hines Ward. And I know people that have been in and out of the NFL, in and out of professional baseball, in and out of the NBA. So your station in life doesn't make you who you are. And you should understand that when you're dealing in those realms, one mistake could take you away from that station. So if you're judging yourself about where you've been or who you know, just know Judge Gardner gets arrested for DUI. I'm done. I'm not going to be a judge anymore. So if you are committed to dealing with the people that you're committed to dealing with, keep doing that. And that will serve the community more than any amount of accolades you could have gotten with the NFL. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Florio. I needed this today. Today has been a bad day. Thank you, Ms. Abbott. Mr. Abbott, you're free to go back.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
You are banned from my courtroom until the next time, Mr. Florio.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Judge.
Okay. All right, let's deal with Mr. Aston.
All right, Your Honor. We have Aston Rocky here at the bond now.
Mr. Aston bond out? Great. So does that mean I need to start talking more so it's more people can bond out?
I guess make it better for us. All right, next up, Mr. Brooks.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Brooks. You're charged with 1 count of financial transaction card theft. I'm going to set the bond at $5,000. Can you post that bond?
Again?
I'm gonna set the bond at $5,000. Can you post that bond?
Charge,
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
I didn't hear you, sir.
Okay. I've set the bond for this one count of financial transaction card theft at $5,000. Can you post that bond?
Really not. It's like too much.
Okay. Okay. So, it reports that you did not. The allegation is that you did not use the card, so that you were just in possession of the card. So I'll set it at $3,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes.
Okay. It's a felony charge. So you're going to have a bond hearing, preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, yes,
Okay. Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes. You stated what's the charge?
It is financial transaction card theft. The allegation is that you were in possession of a debit or credit card that was in somebody else's name. Marty Jones.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions, sir?
I don't know what that is, but okay.
And I don't know who that is either. I have appointed a lawyer. The lawyer will be able to get the information to you, and then the two of you can discuss that, okay?
Yes, John.
All right, you're free to go back, sir.
How you doing, y'all?
Tell me your name, sir.
Black.
Okay, Mr. Black, you've been charged with violation of Georgia seatbelt law, driving in a car with us while you have a suspended license, and possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Your total bond is going to be set at $3,500. Do you believe you post that bond, sir? I'm sorry, did you say yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, Mr. Black. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, sir.
Dennis Clark.
Okay. Mr. Clark, has your family already paid your bond?
No, nobody knows out here, I don't think.
Deputy Muhammad. Deputy Muhammad, are you there?
No, sir, he went to drop
Oh, okay. Um, I, I have a bond order from Mr. Clark. And there was the CAAs that were sent out. But I don't have a warrant for him, which generally means that there's been a bond that's been posted, but it just didn't make it over to our side. And his offenses of crossing the roadway and pedestrian and public drunk, they're all set by schedule. Can we put Mr. Clark aside? And I'm gonna see if I can get an LE number on him, just to see if he in fact.
Eddie number, sir.
Oh, you do?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Check his LE number and see if he's still in the system, because from my end, from what I see, he has most likely bond has been posted.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Clark, we'll come back to you, sir. Just have a seat.
What's your name?
Okay, tell me your name, sir. I'm sorry, tell me that last name again. Elder. Okay. Sir, you've been charged with 1 count of violation of Georgia seatbelt law, 1 count of driving a vehicle on a suspended license, 1 count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, 1 count of tampering with evidence, and 1 count of possession of firearm by a convicted felon. I am going to set a total bond for you at $5,500. Can you post that bond? You say yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry?
Please, if you don't mind.
Okay. You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Elder?
Not at this moment. I just have a
Okay. All right. You're free to go back, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Benelli Fernandez.
Good afternoon. You say that last name again for me, please, sir? And I'm sorry, did you say Freeman?
Fernandez.
Fernandez. Okay. Hold on, Mr. Fernandez. I have a Freeman, but I don't have a Fernandez, so I'm trying to see what may have happened.
So it's Fernandez, Bonelli, Miguel.
Yeah, I have it on the I see it on the sheriff's list, but in the paperwork, it goes from Freeman. It goes Elder Freeman, then it goes to an H, and so I don't have the warrant paperwork for Mr. Fernandez. So,
One of the
Mr.
justice.
I'm sorry.
Fugitive justice.
Ah, okay.
So we want to.
We'll deal with you last, Mr. Fernandez, but I still need to have the actual warrant so I can tell Mr. Fernandez what state that he's being held upon. So wait a minute, I see something in the chat. So we'll deal with you last, Mr. Fernandez. We normally deal with the fugitives last because there's a whole different spiel that I have to give to you than everybody else. So just have a seat and in contact with, yes, sir.
Sorry, Your Honor, I apologize for addressing you, but at least can I go eat, take a shower? I've been up, like, they put me in the room at 6 in the morning. I couldn't even brush my teeth, take a shower. And right now there's at least 30 inmates ahead of me. So at least let me have some food or let me have some kind of.
So, Mr. Fernandez, today has been a hell of a day. I've been up since 4. And normally I would be done by 1 o'clock. So today it's going a little bit slower than it would normally go, but we're going to be able to get to you by the end of the day. It's 1:24 right now. I promise you, I'll be done in the next 30 minutes and we'll get you to where you need to go. But so, Mr. Fernandez, the big question that you're going to have to think about, and the only question that I have to deal with you as it relates is to whether you want to waive your right to a hearing or whether you want to have a hearing. And it's generally called a habeas hearing or extradition hearing. So the only thing we in Clayton County need to determine is whether you want to have the hearing or not. And then at that hearing, the only thing we determine is whether you are the person that's named in the warrant and whether the warrant is valid. So those two conditions, if they're met, you then, a clock starts at that date for 60 days, up to 60 days for whatever jurisdiction to come get you. If you believe that you do have a warrant for your arrest in another state, and if you believe that you are the person named in the warrant, then you may want to consider waiving that hearing. Because if you waive that hearing, the clock starts to tick today, as opposed to whenever there's a hearing to determine whether you are Mr. Fernandez and whether you are, whether the charges exist. So if your whole game plan is to get this stuff resolved and move forward, the easier thing for you to do is to waive the hearing and then the clock starts ticking.
Okay, so if I waive the hearing, can I at least go to my room? Because that's what I was gonna do anyway, because I spoke to somebody and the clock has to tick.
Okay, so
I'm gonna increase the music because I'm innocent and God.
Okay.
The truth will set me free.
So, deputies, would you allow Mr. Fernandez to sign the waiver, sign the waivers, because it generally is like 7 pages, or 7 different documents, that's the same thing. Allow Mr. Fernandez to sign the waivers, and then you can release him to go back to where he needs to go.
Can I get my phone call? Because I want my personal attorney as well. And they had put some money on my books, and earlier this morning when I was woken up before coming over here, I tried to make the call and my phone was blocked. So I would like to acquire my own attorney as well as waive and go to whoever wants to.
Okay, so yes, the deputies will allow you to use the phone after generally after this proceeding, they allow you to use the phone. And it's not a circumstance of you go down right now and say, Judge Gardner said, I need to get my phone call. But they do allow you, from my understanding of their proceedings, after this hearing, to those who have not been allowed to use phone, they will get opened up and allowed to use phones. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so deputies allow him to sign the waiver, and then Mr. Fernandez, you can go back and do what you need to do.
Okay, Your Honor.
Mr. Gardner, much respect, much love. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, sir. You too. Tell me your name, sir.
Freeman.
Okay, Mr. Freeman, you're charged with 1 count of possession of firearm by a convicted felon and 1 count of burglary. I'm going to set your total bond at $10,000. Can you post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I had a question about the charges. The officer had told me that you probably look at the dash cam. But when my defendant said that the property was his.
So you said that on the dash, you believe on the dash cam that one of the co-defendants said that.
And the officer had said that you was gonna look at the dash cam with him saying that the firearms was his, it was in his name. The body cam.
Okay, so that's more of a statement than a question. You're telling me that the police officer told you that they were going to review the dash cam.
Yeah, and I was asking you, did you ever look at it? They told me you were gonna look at the dash cam.
No, sir. Like, this is not the guilt innocence phase of it. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your lawyer definitely has the ability to request the dash cam. So make sure that you tell that information to the lawyer. Okay? Any other questions? Okay, you're free to go back. Tell me your name, sir.
Dwayne Henry.
Okay, Mr. Henry, you've been charged with 1 count of reckless conduct. I'm going to set the bond at $1,000. Can you post that bond?
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. Henry. Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
Not at this moment, sir. Thank you.
Okay, have a good day, sir. Tell me your name, sir. Okay. Mr. Harder, you're charged with concealing the identification of motor vehicle, violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, and possession of drug-related objects. The violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act charge is a felony. I'm going to set a bond for that charge at $3,000. the bond for the concealing the ID of a vehicle. That charge is set at $500, and you're going to have a $1,500 bond set for the possession of drug-related objects. So that means you're going to have a total bond set at $5,000. Can you post that bond, sir? He said no.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Please, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you currently working, Mr. Harden?
No, sir.
Okay, you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd because of the felony charge.
Yes, sir.
But if you're able to bond out, which I believe you will be able to bond out, that date will get moved and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you have any questions for me, Mr. Harden?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
It's daddy.
Tell me your name, sir. Would you say that again? I'm sorry. Maurice James. Okay. Mr. James, you've been charged with one count of having an altered ID on a firearm. I'm going to set that bond at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond? I'm sorry. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? I'm sorry?
No, sir.
Did you say no?
Yeah, I said no, sir.
Okay. You're going to represent yourself?
I got my own lawyer.
Okay. If you don't have any questions for me, sir, you're free to go back.
Just have a seat right here, okay? I gotta take you back.
Yes, sir. With it? Yes, sir.
Tell me your name, sir. I'm sorry? I can't understand them, deputies. Can you tell me?
Air. Okay, sir. Kamsay. Khamsay.
Okay. What happened to Mr. Jones and Mr. Kendricks?
Mr. Jones here, the ban out, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Jones, he ban out.
Okay. And Mr. Kendricks, he bonded out also?
Your Honor.
Okay.
Have a seat right here.
Nope. Okay. Yeah. No, I have it in order. So when someone comes up that's not who I'm expecting, that's why I have those questions. So Mr. Jones and Mr. Kendricks bonded out.
Mr. Jones, he ban out. Mr. Kendrick is still here.
Oh, okay. So I'll deal with Mr. Kimsey, and then we'll come back to Mr. Kendricks. Mr. Kimsey, sir, you're charged with one count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act 1 count of driving vehicle on a suspended license, and 1 count of improper turn at an intersection. I'm going to set your total bond at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning, but the date is going to get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, Your
Okay. Are you currently working, sir?
No, I was working, but no more.
Okay. You do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir. Are you Mr. Kendricks? Okay, sir, you've been charged with 1 count of driving a vehicle without a license. The bond is automatically set at $1,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
I could, but I have nobody to sign for it. I'm already in the household with my mom as home counselor, and she's already bedridden. She can't move. I'm taking care of 2 kids. It's not mine. And they don't even know where I am right now. I haven't been home, and I haven't been able to talk to anybody. I mean, so I was gonna see if you could do a OR or a 6-month somewhere so I can get home to these kids. It's 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and my mom. I know she can.
So, Mr. Kendricks, for me to issue an OR bond, I would have to get permission from my boss, who is the chief, which means that I would have to continue your case over to tomorrow's calendar to get that answer, which may be yes and it may be no. If that's what you're asking of me, I will do it. But the bond is currently set at $1,000.
Yeah, I have to say that I might have to ask you to do it because I have nobody to sign the bond for.
Okay.
I'm personality. All the rest of my family's from the house. I have nobody here but my mom, and she can't even move right now.
No problem. So, Mr. Kendricks, I'm going to continue your case until tomorrow. I'll be the judge on the case tomorrow. And I'm going to make the request, and then I'll be able to tell you the answer tomorrow. Okay? All right. You're free to go back, sir.
Your Honor, Mr. Mason, he already bond out.
Okay, Mr. Mason. You said Mason?
Yeah, Mason. Eric, Erica.
Oh, wow. All right.
Marshall, did he see the check? Marshall.
I don't know.
Is that checking back?
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was it was Erica Mason.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, we dealt with her yesterday.
Okay.
Okay.
You had the chance to see Marshall, Mr. Marshall? I know he was having some difficulty to stay patient, and I believe he was.
No, I did not.
So we're taking back to medical, Your Honor.
Okay.
To schedule back tomorrow.
Okay. Give me your name, sir.
DeAndre Matthews.
Okay. Mr. Matthews, you've been charged with 1 count of burglary, 1 count of theft by taking, and 1 count of driving the vehicle with the expired tag. There's going to be a bond set of $500 on a tag charge, $2,000 on a theft charge, and I'm going to set a bond of $5,000 on a burglary charge. So you're going to have a total bond of $7,500. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Is there any way you can reduce the bond, sir?
Okay, give me a second. Let me look at your criminal history, Mr. Matthews. Because based upon the allegations of the warrant, I'm not inclined to reduce it. While I'm trying to get to you, is there a basis that you believe this bond is too high?
Yes, sir. I'm currently unemployed due to COVID. I take care of 5 kids. I have 5 kids that I currently take care of. I'm not on child support for none of them because they stay with me and I'm in their life fully. And the registration for the car, I just got my car back. It's been 11 months since I've been without it. And I just got it back like 2 weeks ago from the dealership. It's been in the dealership for 11 straight months. And I still had to pay on that. I still had to pay the insurance. They didn't stop the car note or nothing. So while I was unemployed, I still had to cover that. I still also have credit card to keep up my good credit that I still have to pay.
You are DeAndre Matthews, correct?
Yes, sir.
And the allegation is you came through someone's window and started taking stuff.
Yeah, that was incorrect.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're not here to determine whether you're guilty or innocent.
Just like what you said today, you know, you had an off day. I was just on my situation, wrong place, wrong time, sir.
Yeah, I mean, and that I understand. I mean,
Yeah, well,
hold on, I'm getting to it. Sorry, because it's just like 500 pages I got to go through to get to it. But I give everybody their shot.
oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna make a knee-jerk reaction. You asked me to reconsider this, and I Jesus. Okay, so I am going to reduce this for the burglary to $2,000. So you're gonna have a total bond of $4,500.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
No problem. It looks like you don't have a criminal history, at least from what I've gotten from the sheriff's department. So I will take your representation of wrong place, wrong time. Did I appoint a lawyer to you?
No, sir.
Okay. Would you like me to see if you qualify? You do qualify, Mr. Matthews. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Your preliminary hearing date is going to be June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you will receive a new court date in the mail. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Have a good day.
Hello.
Tell me your name, sir.
First name Tyler, last name McCain.
Okay, Mr. McCain, you're charged with 1 count or 2 counts of battery. You're gonna have a total bond set at $10,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
10% of it maybe, but I thought I was charged with disorderly conduct and 1 count of battery.
So, from the paperwork I have, you're charged with 1 count of battery against the police officer and a 2nd count of battery against a police officer.
On Monday, I was brought into Clay County for a criminal trespassing. I got here, paid the fine for the criminal trespassing. I was in handcuffs. The officer said something I didn't understand, as I was under the influence of, I believe I had a little bit too much to drink that night. But the officers detained me. I didn't put up a struggle. I don't have a history of any fighting officers or being out of conduct. So I'm not too sure why they put that high of a charge on me as far as it being battery. Like I said, I came into the county jail. I had my handcuffs on. They both detained me. I didn't resist. I didn't hit any of them. I'm the one who has the knots on his head. If anything, I would like to see if we can have that drop, and maybe I can just pay my disorderly conduct charge today. The whole charge. I can pay that whole charge today. I have no criminal history of being combative or fighting, none of that. I believe.
So, Mr. McCain, what I have before me now is not disorderly conduct. I have 1 charge of battery against Officer. Jesus. I'm sorry, I'm getting old. It's hard to read. It looks like Officer Hanford. And the allegation for that officer is that you elbowed that officer in the forehead, causing a laceration, knot, and bleeding. The 2nd charge is against an Officer Merritt, also of the Clayton County Jail, saying that you used your right forearm to bite. Well, you bit that officer in the right forearm, causing swelling. So the allegations, these 2 charges are being brought as it relates to allegations that you basically battered the 2 officers in the Clayton County Jail.
Yes, sir. Can I have those reduced by somehow? I mean, it's me, 1 guy, and I was in handcuffs the whole time.
So what would be your argument as to why I should reduce charges against you or reduce bond, with the allegations being that you bit 1 officer and elbowed another officer in the Clayton County Jail?
I have no criminal history of being combative. I'm not a bad person at all. Speaking from where I am now, I don't see who in their right mind would be at all willing to go toe to toe with Clay County officers. I believe they were just a misunderstanding, and I made a move a wrong way, and they took it as me being defensive.
Well, the allegation is that you bit one and you elbowed the other one in the head. I mean, so
allegedly.
Yes, these are all allegations, but when I'm setting a bond amount, I need to have information essentially in my mind that says, no, this didn't happen. And you're saying I'm a nice guy, but you started saying I was drunk or I had a little bit too much drink. So my job is to sit here and listen to arguments, but you know, the argument of take a break on me because I'm me is not really an argument.
Well, my uncle is a judge as well. My mother, she is a court clerk. Judge Freeman over in Riverdale, that is my uncle. I knew better than to overstep my boundaries. Like I said, I came in that night to pay a criminal trespassing citation.
You said disorderly conduct.
No, this was on Monday. I came in for criminal trespassing. I paid the ticket, so I knew I was gonna come here, pay the ticket, and be out of there. But ended up having that situation happen. So what it's saying on the phone now is that I have disorderly conduct and battery. They're saying right now that I was charged with disorderly conduct and battery. I paid the criminal trespassing already. I'm just trying to help you get an idea of how my Monday happened. I came in Monday, criminal trespassing. I paid both of those criminal trespassing fees. Then maybe I guess 30 minutes later, the officers and I had that situation. And I'm just hearing this big mix-up. And I'm not sure.
Well, let me ask you this: your name is Tyler McCann.
Yes, sir.
Mr. McCann, do you realize you have 15 cycles on your criminal history, which means 15 interactions with law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
And I should reduce your bond because why?
In those 15, some of those are just driving super speeders. I know at least 4 of them are super speeders. I like to drive fast. What else could that have been? Small possessions of marijuana, being a teenager, under a gram. Little things I regret as a teenager, but I'm pretty sure none of my charges that within that 15 can complement this charge of me being combative. And
you are, well, you're close to 30. You're 27? Did you say yes? You're 27?
Yes, sir.
So at what point do you start growing up?
Now. And before.
No, you tell me that now. Yes. What about 2 days ago?
With the criminal trespassing? That was my
No. I'm saying the allegation is that on April 13th, which was yesterday, that you bit one officer on the arm and elbowed another officer in the head. So that's why I said 2 days ago. Why your growing up phase didn't start 2 days ago? So that you wouldn't have been alleged to have bitten one officer and elbowed another officer.
Have you been around Clay County's officers? They're very aggressive.
Hey, yes, I have. Number one. Two, it's not what people do to you, is how you respond to it. And the allegation is you responded to it by elbowing one person in the head and biting another, getting additional charges.
Yeah, Your Honor, we ready to go?
No, I'm today is a long day. It's been a long day, and I'm sorry, Mr. Muhammad. because I know I'm way past my normal time.
Thank you, sir.
But I'm here for people like Mr. McCann, because Mr. McCann, the officers that arrived to work that day didn't expect to get elbowed in the head or bitten on the arm. And you're telling me to cut you a break. And I'm looking at your criminal history, and what your criminal history says to me is like you're like a Kardashian. I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean, there are rules, or like you're a Trump file. You know, there are rules, but the rules don't apply to me.
They do, they do. So I have 2 batteries, and I still haven't heard
$10,000 bond. There are no stay away provisions because they're police officers. You have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That day to get waived upon your bonding out. I assume because you're family's lawyers, you're going to hire your own lawyer, or do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
You could do that as well. But my question was, how come you didn't mention the disorderly conduct?
That's not before me. I said that in the beginning. You have 2 charges. Okay. Warrant number 2021 WA08473, battery. Warrant number 2021 WA08474, battery. Those are the charges that are before me. If you had disorderly conduct in a city, it sounds like it. You say Riverdale? Did you say Riverdale?
No, I said that's where my uncle's the judge. But on the phone here, that's what it says I'm charged with. It said battery and disorderly conduct. I figured you would have brought it up too. So these batteries, those are misdemeanors?
Yes, they're both misdemeanors. So just so you know, sometimes that you're told at one point by an officer that you're charged with X, but the officer may then go to their sergeant or their supervisor and they may say, no, charge them with Y. So you may have been told one thing at the time and then they upgraded the charge or they charge you with something different. So that's why we have this first proceeding sort of whole thing that you're going through now, so that you can be told what you're being officially charged with.
All right, so 2 batteries for a total of 10,000.
Yes, sir. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you, but you are free to hire a lawyer to represent your interests.
All right.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir. Mr. Muhammad?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. And I do recognize I'm taking a lot of time today, but I am sorry.
Thank you for Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Murphy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Muhammad.
No, I'm good. I'm not have to just take him back to his cell.
Okay. Mr. Murphy.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Sir, you're charged with 1 count of battery. The bond's going to be set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Yes, I do, Your Honor, but I would like to ask for a reduction. They did tell me it was simple battery domestic. It was an altercation involving my son. Brought him back home after him and his girlfriend broke up. We had problems before, that's why he moved there. When he came back home, the situation arose again. I'm just trying to keep him from being homeless, and let him pay rent, have some responsibilities, and keep some money in his pocket. But he has some difficulty obeying directions and following instructions, and he don't get combative. So I was in a position where I had to defend myself, and if I can have that bond reduced, I think I should be able to post it today if the supervisor just let me get to my wallet.
Is that your son or is it stepson?
No, sir, it's my son's son, my blood son.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm looking up your history. I give, my job is to give everybody a fair hearing.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Murphy, it looks like you have a relatively light criminal history. May need to lay off the marijuana. That's more than 10 years ago. So what I'm going to do, sir, is I'm going to reduce your bond to $2,000. But I am going to put a stay away provision on the bond.
Let me ask you, Your Honor, would that mean I'm not able to go back to my own home? Would I have to go through proceedings to get my own child out of my house so I can go back to my home? Because he's in my home, so I can't go back to my own home?
So the short answer is there's going to have to be some steps taken because it looks like he's 19.
Yes.
So as a victim, he can't be forced out of that home. But as a victim, he can contact the solicitor's office and let them know that, hey, I'm not afraid of my father. The purpose behind these stay away provisions is that whatever happened last night that led you to appear before me today, we don't want that to just rekindle tonight. So it could be, as far as, we are concerned, it could have been a one-off. This was just out of the ordinary, 1,000,001 shot. Or it could be like a day in NY where this kind of stuff happens. So because we don't know that, we placed a stay away provision so that at least if you bond out and you go back and you're like, I'm going to finish what I started, that kind of deal. At least, honestly, there is paperwork that a judge said, don't go back there. Okay. So what you can do is, as you're bonding out, make arrangements with the sheriff's department to go back and get items that you just may need for daily living. Let me finish. If your wife or the victim in this case, which is Elton Murphy, if he says, hey, I'm not afraid of my dad, and tells the sheriff, not sheriff's department, sorry, the solicitor general that, hey, you can change that bond condition. They will do it. And the unfortunate thing, and kind of fortunate thing about it, but the unfortunate part about it is that, we're dealing with politicians who have to go and they have to reach out to voters and get elected. And the last thing a politician wants to see is some family member crying, saying, this judge didn't put a stay away provision on this bond, and now my husband, my son, my wife, or whomever is dead. So that's the basis of it. I mean, when you cut to the quick of it, that's what it's about. But for you to have to deal with it, you're gonna have to go through those steps. And I understand as a father, I have 3 kids. My oldest is about to turn 18. I understand what you're talking about. But my mother told me, well, I'll say it the way that I would say it when it was told to me. My mama told me that at 18 years old, I got to have a job or I got to be in college, and I ain't living there for free. So if you have those situations as it relates to your son, you may have to kind of have a fatherly talk with him about the ground rules moving forward, because he's an adult. I mean, yes, sir.
That's what I was alluding to, that he had trouble with difficulty following directions and respecting me. He started the argument and confrontation in my house. The officer said the only reason that she arrested me was because she didn't see any marks on me, but I do have marks up and down my arm. So I was wondering, I was respectfully requesting, could you remove that provision, because that makes me the designated homeless. I was gonna actually try to get something in place where we could start getting him an apartment, because I'm pretty much sure that those type of confrontations will ensue because of, you know, the problems that he have with himself. And I just don't want to be made homeless. I'm just trying to get out here so I can get to work tonight and pay the mortgage, because I pay it.
So, Mr. Murphy, did you hear what you just said?
Yes, sir. I know they probably will sue because of him, not because of me. And I'm saying he's in my home. I'm trying to keep him off the streets. I don't know.
Mr. Murphy, where are you right now?
I'm in jail now.
And where is he?
He's in my home.
And based upon what you told me, who's doing right and who's doing wrong?
Well, I thought I was doing right. You know, when somebody...
No. I said, based upon what you just told me, in your mind, who's doing right and who's doing wrong?
I feel like I'm doing right because I was in a position where I had to defend myself, Your Honor.
Okay, stop. So, in your mind, you're doing right and you are sitting in jail, and the person that's doing wrong is at home right now eating some Fruit Loops or Apple Jacks or whatever he so desire. And you just said we're gonna try to get him an apartment. Mr. Murphy, I would love for you to be my father, because I guarantee you, I would not be looking at an apartment right now that I'm gonna have some 17-year-old, 18-year-old girls coming up in there, and this is my place. So when you go over, Mr. Murphy, with due respect, you get your son an apartment and you go over, you're paying the rent. Your son got weed bongs and all kind of stuff coming in and out. Guess what you can say about that, Mr. Murphy? Guess what you can say? I want to hear. What can you say about that?
I already told him about stuff like that.
No, Mr. Murphy. What can you tell your son at his apartment that you're paying for when he got the weed bongs all laying everywhere? What can you tell him about that legally?
Honestly, Your Honor, the plan was not for me to pay for his apartment, just to get him situated to where he could start getting out on his own. Because they were out on their own, because he had an altercation with me before. So he moved out with his girlfriend. When that situation failed, we welcomed him back home, and then this happened again. Now I'm in jail, but it wasn't my decision. I had nothing to do with it. It was the police officer's decision. I had informed you earlier that the only reason she arrested me because she didn't see these marks up and down my arm for me defending myself.
So, Mr. Murphy, just so you know, what was told to the police officers by your son was that you put your hands around his neck and choked him.
Yeah, because he swung at me, he missed, I won, and I'm in jail.
So, Mr. Murphy, and I'm sorry, and I do apologize to the deputies because it's a bad thing. You know how many times that I've called the police on my family? Absolutely zero. Because when you bring other people into your life, they get to make those determinations. So, all I can say to you, Mr. Murphy, I do hear the spirit of what you're saying, but I hope that you hear what I'm saying. It doesn't appear as though from your family dynamic, as you've explained it, that you're not going to be in jail again. I mean, honestly, you're either going to just accept what goes on, or you're going to be in jail 3 or 4 times. I mean, that's, and I'm just sorry to say it in those stark terms, because once you call the police, you bring other people into your business.
I didn't call him. Called.
Yeah, I know you didn't. That's why you're in custody. But the people that you're dealing with, and you're talking about paying for their apartment and getting an apartment and all that kind of stuff, those people are going to call the police on you again. And so I just just hopefully take a word to the wise. As they say, a word to the wise should be sufficient. Just take what I'm telling you, sir, because I don't know you, and I'm just looking at the circumstances, and you seem to be a good person, and you know, sometimes the good people are ones that end up at the wrong end of the stick.
Exactly what happened. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you're free to go back.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Hi, you Mr. Ortiz?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you've been charged with 1 count of possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, 1 count of possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property. These are all written up as felony offenses. I'm going to set a bond at $15,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yeah, I think I can, but is the rest of my charges through yet?
You said are the rest of your charges through? Is that what you said? Okay. Hey, Deputy Muhammad, could you guys stop the back chatter? I can't hear Mr. Ortiz.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm working on it. I just got something
I
that
said, did I get a bond for the rest of my charges yet? And all of them together.
So Mr. Ortiz, all I have are 3 warrants. Were you on my calendar on Monday?
Yes, sir. Yes, I was.
Okay. So that when I saw this morning, I thought I was like, you know, I thought I just dealt with the Mr. Ortiz. So you did have, I think, no bond on the other charges.
Drug.
And yeah, these, I don't know why these are coming through. Hold on. These are new warrants that were issued yesterday.
Huh?
Yes. The possession of weapon during the commission of a crime, possession of firearm by a convicted felon, and theft by receiving stolen property. All of these were issued yesterday.
How was it issued yesterday and I've been in jail this whole time?
So what happens, unfortunately, in other jurisdictions, you're arrested on charges, and then the police say, hey, we figure he did other stuff. So they go to the district attorney's office so that the district attorney's office will include the additional charges. In this jurisdiction, apparently, they come back to a judge. So the unfortunate thing is, like, I wasn't sitting yesterday doing first appearance. So if you had come before the judge yesterday, the judge would not have known that you had come before me before. So I'm setting bonds on these, but you still have the no bond and the other stuff. And yeah, and so I'm, all I can say is it's just a waste of your energy and time and people's effort for you to be down here.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the rest of these people finish theirs. But I'm gonna see you next month, though. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, your name.
All right. Was that Revis? The last name? Tell me the last name, sir.
Penn, sir. P-E-N-N.
P-E-N-N. So hold on, Deputy
Yes, Your Honor.
Muhammad. It's Mr. Revis, OTB.
What is the name again?
Revis, R-I-V-A-S.
I believe he just went right now before you.
Oh, I thought he said Pink. Spell your name, sir.
My name is Antoine Penn. P-E-N-N.
P-E-N-N.
Yes,
sir. Antoine Payne.
Okay.
What's your name?
20 p.m. Okay, I got a bond order for Mr. Penn, criminal trespass. I don't have, let me see, I don't have a warrant. Hold on, Mr. Penn, stay there.
R-I-B-A-S.
Okay, so I don't have a warrant for Mr. Penn. After Ortiz, I have Payne. So, Mr. Penn, what that means is that I just need to go through the paperwork. I'm going to set a bond for you, sir, at $2,000. Do you believe you can post that bond?
Oh, I can post it.
Okay. I got to look at the paperwork and see if it's listed as a felony or a misdemeanor, because criminal trespass can be both. If it is a misdemeanor, you're going to have a court date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. If it is a felony, the court date will be set at June 2nd. But both of those court dates will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. I have your CAA form, your form you filled out early this morning, and you do qualify for the appointment of a lawyer. Do you want me to appoint a lawyer to represent you?
Oh, you can, sir.
Okay, I will appoint a lawyer to represent you. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000, and it was most likely an oversight that I did not receive your warrant information. Do you have a question for me, Mr. Penn?
Not at all, sir.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Robinson,
I can go use the phone.
you're on next to go be Mr. Robinson.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, sir, you charged with one count of burglary and one count of theft by taking.
No, the people's not here.
You're gonna have a total bond set at $7,000. You believe you can post that bond?
I can, but is it possible that I can get it reduced?
So you're in the same boat as Mr. Matthews.
Correct. It was just he say, she say, all that. I was at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay, so I'll reduce your bond to $2,000 for the burglary also, so you have a total bond of $4,000. You believe you can post that bond? I'm sorry.
I can.
Okay, your preliminary hearing date is going to be set for June 2nd at 6:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out. You'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, I got a little map on with it.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me?
No, I don't.
Okay, you're free to go back.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go.
Take your name, sir.
Monte Stevens.
Okay, Mr. Stevens, you've been charged with one count of concealing the identity of a tag, one count of driving a vehicle with no insurance, and one count of driving on an expired license, or plates, expired plates. You're going to have a total bond set at $2,000. You believe you can post that bond? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Next is gonna be Tucker.
Okay, so you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me? Okay, you're free to go back.
Yeah, Tucker. Your Honor, Mr. Stevens, here the bond now.
Okay, Derek Stevens.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Muhammad. You are Mr. Tucker?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Tucker, you're charged with one count of battery. The bond is going to be set at $5,000. Do you believe you can post that bond, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're going to have a preliminary hearing date that's going to be set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. There's going to be a stay away provision on your bond to stay away from a Sharice Panel. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
No, I get my own.
Okay. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The same situation that was with his young man with his son, what they have to do by the same process
Yes.
for that to be dropped, is what I'm asking.
Well, I can't get into discussions of how to beat your case kind of deal.
Stay away.
It'll be the same conditions, yes, sir. If they contact the solicitor's office, because they're going to be the prosecutors, they have the ultimate authority to look into the case and decide that you're not a threat to this person, their alleged victim. So they can agree to different terms. I cannot at this point because I don't know the circumstances. I don't have the alleged victim here. I don't have people here where I can get into that. But yes, all of those situations can get addressed.
Okay, that's all I want.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir. Are you Mr. Tyson?
No, sir.
No, Your Honor.
Mr.
Tyson.
Okay. You said, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Tyson bonded out? Okay.
Yeah, we're just updating the list too because we have a lot of CC forms, but we cannot find them and they said they're already gone out last night.
Okay.
I believe I write on the CC form that says out.
Yeah, I did the forms. I got like 7 different piles of paperwork that I'm navigating through.
Almost done, Your Honor. And we also have not received the waiver yet. I have checked and I have not received it.
For Mr.
Hernandez and Mr. Huxley.
Yeah. Okay, so they didn't sign the waivers?
I have them here, they're still here with me, Your Honor, but I'm still waiting on the paper.
Okay. All right. Just keep that in your mind that I'm gonna need those waivers to complete my paperwork for today.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you are Mr. Vilsack? Okay, sir, you're charged with 2 counts of violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act, which is possession of what they believe to be MDMA and a Schedule II drug. These are 2 felony offenses. I'm going to set the bond at $5,000 total. Can you post that bond? You're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd at 8:30 in the morning, but that date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Do you plan on hiring your own attorney, representing yourself, or do you want me to see if you qualify for the appointment of attorney? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, sir, you do qualify. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right, you're free to go back. And you are Mr. Whiters? Weeders. Mr. Weeders, you're charged with 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property. It's being listed as a felony and it's being listed as a vehicle. I am going to set a bond at $10,000 for this. Do you believe you can go set a bond?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. Weeders, you're the last person, and I've been dragging this along today, but you can see if you can convince me as to why this bond should be reduced.
First of all, that's my wife's vehicle. We live together, we've been together for 26 years. Okay, she listened to the vehicle then, listen, because she hadn't heard from me. Now, understand what I'm saying, so 9 times out of 10, she probably ain't gonna ever come to court to press the charges. So what I'm saying is this. After I talked to her on the phone, she come to understand the situation. I can't afford that because I just got a job. Just got a job. I can't afford $2,000. This year I lose a job. And if I lose a job, I'm about to sit in jail. It's just the truth.
Wait. Let me ask some questions because and it's just the audio because some of it is coming in and out. Was the vehicle purchased during your marriage?
Yes, it's a 2000 Mitsubishi Sport. It's an SUV. It's 21 years old, man. 21 years.
Let me ask you this: what did the police say to you?
Excuse me, sir.
What did the police say to you when they stopped you?
Not really much, anything. They didn't say much of anything. You know, they made little light jokes that I did not take serious, like the big boys. You see, they don't understand my situation. And they were trying to understand my situation. It was like a game to them, sir.
So, do you have a place to stay when you leave here?
Yeah, back with my wife. In our house at 2840 Middlebury Drive.
So let me ask you this question. You're going to go back and live with the person that reported his vehicle stolen and had you arrested?
No, it's just on a misunderstanding. All it is. And
Wait. I'm sorry. Because it's hard for me to understand you. So maybe slow down a little bit. I'm from the South. I got slow ears. So.
And I got the pollen messing with me. It has taken my voice. I don't
Okay.
know what it is. The pollen is really bothering me.
Okay. So slow down so I can understand you. To my question of saying, is it your intent to go back to the house?
What do you suggest? What do you suggest as a means of reducing my bone? What do you suggest? If you,
based upon the fact that the vehicle was purchased during the marriage, by definition is marital property that you cannot steal.
Exactly. Now you see my point.
No. I do. So I don't know you. And that's the question that I was asking, because I put myself, of course, as a judge, I believe I'm a reasonable person, right?
Right.
So I put myself in the position of what would I do if my wife did what it appears your wife did. And so as a judge, I got to make sure that there is no problems that occur. So that's why I was asking, where would you go? Because I honestly, based upon what you said, had this not been a situation that I would be sending you back to the home, I would be willing to dismiss these charges today.
Thank you.
But but you got to listen to me. You got to listen to the whole thing. If I dismiss the charges, that means you can go back home tonight and blow your wife's brains out.
I know that we've been together 20 years.
No. So there's like, as a judge, you gotta develop these muscles of, figuring stuff out and trying to figure people out and figure out what you can do or not do. So,
I'm 60 years old, yo. 60, man. What I look like, still in a baby. Come on, man. She was just angry with me because she hadn't heard from me. And it's just crazy, man. Like, I understand she love me, that she be concerned about me, but at the same time, you see the political dogs on me, when they can be doing other things. More important, catching more serious criminals. I'm not a criminal. No,
I have access to your criminal history.
It's true. That's what I said. I'm not just going to like break into houses and things like that. Not to extent.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to give you $1,000 bond.
Thank you. I can make that.
And I'm going to place a stay away provision on the bond. Because again, I don't want to be the judge that's on the evening news tonight because you went out and blew your wife's brains out.
No, listen, I will do that. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate that.
Okay, so you're going to have a preliminary hearing date set for June 2nd, but that date is going to get waived upon your bonding out and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer? Or are you going to hire your own lawyer? Because I see you didn't fill out the form.
No, I'll be prepared.
I'm sorry.
I'll be prepared, sir.
Okay. So you need to make sure that you have whatever documentation that you're going to need to show that you basically are married or in possession, lawful possession of that vehicle or constructive possession of that vehicle. So, do you have any questions of me, sir?
Oh, sir, you said my father said $1,000.
Yes, sir. $1,000.
Thank you, sir.
All right. You're free to go back.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I got Mr. Marshall back now. Would you like to speak to him?
Yes, I'll leave him in we'll hold it back.
All right, let's respect.
Okay.
Hey, come on.
I need a Jones.
Yeah.
I need a Jones over to take me home. Am I right?
Okay.
Right. What name is it?
Hey, come on. You're gonna be cool, right?
He's the sheriff. Hey, mom.
Come on, you're gonna respect that, right?
Georgia, come out, please. No kids and throw it
Hey, don't tell me what's joking.
Yes, sir. $100.
Mr. Charles. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Marshall.
Georgia, remind.
Sir, you've been charged with one count of loitering or prowling, and your bond is going to be set at $1,000. Do you understand that?
Every day, forever. $50 in the bed, 1,000 grams. Daddy will give it to me.
Any other question, Your Honor?
Well, couple. Sir, are you under the influence of any medications?
Yes, Valparaiso, Depakote, and Risperidone.
When's the last time you took your medication?
2 days ago, on Frederick B. Phillips. Recommended by Hakeem.
Hey.
My father.
Hey, you answered the judge question, just said.
I'm not ready.
Just wait till he asks another question.
In prison.
Hey.
Okay, Mr. Marshall, I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions of me, sir?
Very proud of my father in prison. He saved my life.
Okay. All right, you're free to go back, Mr. Marshall.
Right, going to him. Hey, are you gonna get these two?
No. God bless you.
All right, how are you gonna?
Tell me your name, sir. Sorry, give me a second, sir. I got a ton of paperwork I'm dealing with. What was the last name?
Hawkins, one of the fugitives of Justice Hawkins, Hawkins.
Okay.
I know he's the second person put out a fugitive list. Just the.
Okay. Mr. Hawkins, you are here under what is called a fugitive from justice. What that means is that you don't have charges pending here in Clayton County, but there's another jurisdiction, and it looks like it's Arlington, Texas, that wants or has a warrant for your arrest for marijuana possession. And they have indicated that they do intend to extradite you. And so what that means, sir, on a just short-term basis is that they have a right to ask the Clayton County to hold you so that they can come and get you. They have up to 60 days to come and get you. There's a process that's in place where if you believe that you are not Adrian Hawkins, or you believe that you're not the person that's named in the warrant as it relates to the marijuana possession, that you can request a hearing. And within the next 30 days of your requesting the hearing, you will have a hearing here in Clayton County. But the judge holding that hearing will only be here to determine whether you are Adrian Hawkins, whether you are the person named in the warrant, meaning Adrian Hawkins, and whether there is a valid warrant for your arrest. Upon those findings, the judge would then sign a warrant that will allow the state of Texas to come and get you, and they'll have 60 days from that date. You could also waive your right to that hearing. And if you do believe that you are the person named in the warrant, and if you do believe that the warrant is not valid, you can say, hey, well, let me reverse that. If you do believe the warrant is valid and you do believe you are the person named in the warrant, you can say, look, I'm not going to fight it. I'll sign the waiver today and they can come and get me. If you sign the waiver today, that 60-day clock begins to run today. It doesn't begin to run at the end of the hearing.
Waiver's not saying that I'm guilty of it. It's just saying that it's not waiver. Me waiving it. It's not saying that I'm guilty of the crime, right?
No, you're just waiving the whole process of your being brought back to Texas to address the merits of the charge.
Do you have the warrant in front of you?
I do not have the warrants in front of me. I have the warrant number. And if you have a lawyer in Texas, the warrant number is W433296961.
All right. So is there any way that I can get back faster? Because this is all of just a misunderstanding. I sold the car to somebody at 2008 BMW a year ago, last year sometime. I still had a bill of sales. That person just never put it in their name, so that car is still in my name. So whatever happened with that car recently in the possession of marijuana, I can prove all that just by bringing the bill of sale to whoever I need to.
Okay, so you can waive the right to the hearing, and they will give you paperwork to sign today, and I will sign the paperwork today, and then the clock will start to run.
So I have 2 months for them to come get me?
You do, they probably will come get you faster than that, but that's a statutory period of time that they have to come and get you. It's really 30 days, and they have a right to request. Texas has a right to request an additional 30 days. During this period, with the COVID times and things of that sort, and because you at least voiced that there's a defense to your case, you definitely want to hire a lawyer in Texas to defend you on these charges. And sometimes I'm part-time here. I'm still a criminal defense lawyer, so I've dealt with these situations before. And generally, you can negotiate with the local jurisdiction. So in Arlington, Texas, the lawyer can negotiate, and it saves them money. The police department, district attorney's office saves them money to grant you a bond and allow you to get out here. And then you have to travel down to Texas. You have to pay your own dime. I mean, so costs you money because you're paying for a lawyer, you're paying a bond, and then you're paying to travel. So you end up probably paying more than just sitting there waiting for them to come get you. But that's the incentive that the requesting jurisdiction, in this case, will be Arlington, Texas. That's the incentive they have to agree to a bond. And just so you know, whatever Texas says, that's what Clayton County does. Like they're just simply, as you can imagine, Clayton County is housing and feeding you and clothing you right now, and they don't want to spend a dime more than they need to spend. So they'll be happy for you to go.
All right, so I'll just have to call my lawyer and have him talk to Arlington.
Yes. And from your perspective, and it's your choice, but you know, it's always better to have multiple options going on. So if you sign a waiver, the clock begins to run today, and they it may sort of enhance your position with Arlington PD that you've signed a waiver and they know they got to come get you.
Okay, so it shouldn't, most time, 9 times out of 10, it shouldn't take up to 60 days. I have my own business to run, my kids.
No, I understand. All I can tell you is the statutory limits that are there, because of course I'm not Arlington PD. I mean, they may be, you know, somebody may have some passes to a strip club. They're ready to come up here to come get you. They may come tomorrow. I don't know. I just don't know.
All right.
So what is it that, well, first of all, do you have any questions about what I've explained to you?
No, I'm pretty much asked all my questions.
So do you have a position as to whether you want to waive your right to a hearing or have the hearing?
No, I'm gonna waive my right to the hearing so the clock can start today. But I'll also call my lawyer on my end too and try to see what I can do about getting back faster.
Yes, speaking as a lawyer, it's always best to talk to your lawyer. Your lawyer is there to give you advice. Okay, anything else, sir?
That's it.
All right, Mr. Hawkins, once you sign the waiver documentation, you'll be free to go back. Deputy Muhammad, I have some cleanup questions for you.
Deputy Muhammad should be back in 10 minutes.
Okay, well, you can have Mr. Hawkins sign the waivers. I'm just trying to clean up. I have paperwork here. I just want to make sure that I can properly slot these individuals so that I can get to doing what I need to do.
We have one person.
What's your name, sir?
Clark.
I'm sorry.
Dennis Clark.
Okay. I thought we dealt with Mr. Clark.
I don't know if you told me sit to the side for a second.
I'm sorry?
You need to sit to the side because you said you had to look over my case again.
Oh, because I didn't have his paperwork.
Yes,
Okay. Give me 1 second, Miss Adamson or Miss Burney. I'm about to give you a Okay, Mr. Clark, it was sent to me during the hearing by Mr. Harris. Thank you, Mr. Harris. Do. Pedestrian and roadway, pedestrian under influence, and public drunkenness. So, Mr. Clark, I'm going to set the bond at $1,500. Can you pay that bond, sir?
I could, but I don't. I lost my wallet. I lost my debit card and my cell phone and the driver license. So I have no numbers to call home.
So let me ask you this question. You don't have anybody's number memorized?
I don't, sir. That's my mistake. I don't have any numbers memorized.
You're not the only person, Mr. Clark. I actually started posting stuff to people. I can tell you my parents' number from kindergarten in 1979. I don't know how people have gotten to the point where they don't believe that it's important to remember a number or contact or lifeline. It's like, I don't know. So there's 411 that you most likely will have access to. There are bonding companies that are authorized to write bonds here in this county that you can contact and let them know that you have a bond set at $1,500. You will have a preliminary hearing date set for June 1st at 8:30 in the morning. That date will get waived upon your bonding out, and you'll get a new court date in the mail. Would you like for me to see if you qualify for the appointment of a lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you currently working, Mr. Clark?
No, I'm doing unemployment from COVID-19.
Okay, so you do qualify, sir. I'm going to appoint a lawyer to represent you. Do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
Okay, you're free to go back, sir.
All right, how you doing, Honor? This is all we have for today. My one more question for the waiver. Have you guys sent it over yet?
Normally, you have the waivers. I do. I believe I did receive a waiver with Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, and Mr. Hoffman.
Hold on. It's normally in the paperwork, so let me make that check.
They won't let me go back.
Stephen D. You confirm after this?
So I did not get a waiver form for Mr. Fernandez. What I will do is I will email over to Mr. Harris and the sheriff's clerk's office, and I will CC Sergeant Riley so that Sergeant Riley can be your contact as it relates to that for both, because I don't think I received waivers for either of the individuals. So check with Sergeant Riley in about 10 minutes.
Well, right now we're currently having the security check, so we'll be within another 30 minutes. I will check with him, but I will have it done to you. I will have it emailed to you. I'm still here in the housing unit, so I'm not going anywhere yet.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's no problem. Today I have belabored everything, so I cannot complain about getting stuff. So I appreciate your patience, and we'll just make sure we get those two tied up. But I have a Mr. Cornegay, Kornegay, that was charged with aggravated assault.
What is his name?
Last name is Kornegay.
Yeah, I see him on the list. You didn't see him the first thing when I was out with the female? I'm not sure.
I don't have anything marked down, so I don't believe I saw him.
I can go check for you, and I can bring him here if you want.
Okay, go check. Let's see. He was arrested yesterday, last night. I mean, go check.
And I'll get him if I can. Thank you, Honor.
Okay, Miss Bernie, I'm about to reply to your chat.
I'm not an officer. I'm a deputy. These correction officers, they're the one that work with jail. They're the one that handle the phone. Has nothing to do with the phone. When you go out there, you know, you go to your place, so you don't live it. Now what you get back to your place. That ever served here? You know what I'm talking about? Can't go nowhere, they'll send you up now. The jail is in a lockdown. If they did lunch, I don't know, time Why not get ready to do like a skill song? Is it Muslim? I would like to say no person. So you don't know how. You don't know how. I want to see everyone. That's what I call on to. Yes. Yes. On to it, you need to pray. And they want to do the right thing. Yes. Stop. Yes. Stop. Stop. Yes. Don't do that.
Hey, Your Honor, I'm back. Because they are on a security lockdown right now, they're not able to get anybody out at this moment.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just do a continuous order for that person. He was arrested last night. It's going to be last name Kornegay, first name Dorrell. And I guess for your purposes, the LE number is 218-4598. So I'll do that. And I got 3 people that I need for you to verify if they're OTB. Mr. Kendricks.
Kendrick? He's on the second page, Kendrick.
Yeah, we had 3 pages today.
I believe, yeah, he already went out, but I will check.
No, it looks like he would be OTB. Mr. Rivas. RIVAS.
Yes, I believe he's the one out as well too.
Okay. And the last one I have is Mr. Rupani, RUPANI.
What is it again?
RUPANI. He's on the second page.
He's already out. They say he's out.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your assistance. Ms. Bernie is going to send those waivers to Sergeant Riley, so you should be able to get them from Sergeant Riley.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I apologize for today. Maybe tomorrow will be better.
I'm going to do my best. It's me. Can't blame the stewardess if the plane crashes. Got to blame the pilot.
Thank you.
All right,